don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do. When you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
My Lord.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Full Throttle Power Sports. NC Full Throttle Power Sports. Kevin Hastings and Will the Thrill Boykins.
That's Deacon Boykins.
Deacon Boykins. And then we got Dennis Davis, Deacon Davis. I don't know what to call you. Reverend Davis from the funeral. And Steve Degree is in the house. First of all, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look at this beautiful face right here. Just so pretty. I knew I was going to have to put you on the show. You and your wife looking fantastic there in your white. So you want to tell a little bit about what's going on here, Will?
That was this past Sunday. Me and my wife got ordained. I got ordained. My wife is, me and my wife are the deacon and deaconess of Victory Temple Outreach Center in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. So that was our pictures from the ordination. Actually, that's at the...
And the rules are you just can't wear the sash to do the football post-game show.
I can't wear any of that get up to do a post-game show. No, right.
Who says who?
Says my pastor.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. I can't.
All right, Will, I will let you go ahead and start off. You can read these scores for a little bit while I get some of this stuff set up for us.
The black ones are final and the red ones are
Yes.
still going on.
Okay, I don't have to explain that now.
Okay, but I was talking to the folks at home.
I know I was going to do it too.
Oh,
You stole my thunder.
excuse me, Deacon.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, right now we have East Gaston 32, Cherville Island 0. We have the Yellow Jackets 60, Highland Tech 6. We have Crest Chargers 54, Cramen Storm 28, East Rutherford 3, and that's final. East Rutherford 3, Chase Trojans 55.
All right, that's wrong. It's 55-9. Terry gave me a wrong final score. Terry Reinhardt with the wrong final
Terry
score. I'm gonna say his
Reinhardt
name.
wrong.
Listen,
I'm gonna say his name.
You
out loud.
gotta let Terry Reinhardt slide.
He misses one every once
They
in a
had a
while.
total heartbreak over there.
The Cowboys did win last week. So.
I'm moving on. Newton Conover loses in the final seconds to Lincoln 22-21. West Lincoln loses to Macon 27-17. Bandies over East Burke 35-14. South Point over Hunter Huss 35-7. I don't even know where they played this game. Kings Mountain 56, North Gaston 0. Forest U over Ashbrook 24-21.
That is now a final.
Shelby over Thomas Jefferson. Is that Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah.
Okay. Thomas Jefferson. I thought they played like never mind. Shelby over Thomas Jefferson 55-6.
Well, Steve's sitting right here. You can check with him if you want.
They played.
He don't know. He wasn't paying attention.
They played Cherville last week, and they won 70 to. Yeah, it was bad. So, see, where was I at?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson loses to Shelby 55-6. Hendersonville wins over Polk County 32-21. Brevard over RS Central 44-6. And we have a score of 45-6. That's the Bunker Hill Bears over West Caldwell. Y'all want me to keep going? I will.
You're doing a fine job, Deacon. Keep on.
Community School of Davidson 36, Mountain Island Charter 6. don't have a score in the Carver game.
Not yet.
Don't have a score in the Pine Lake Prep game. Not yet. It was drawn 57, Avery County 7, West Charlotte 7, West Beck 0. Score we have right now. St. Stephen's, North Iredell don't have a score for them as of yet. North Lincoln falls to Hickory Tornadoes. And I think that was in like the last little bit.
Yes. North Lincoln was leading the whole game, and then Hickory come back, tied it near the end, and come back with the victory. Had a couple of come from behind victories tonight. We'll talk about a little bit about that later, Will.
All right. And it was 29-22. Hickory wins the 8-ball game. West Iredell over Ford, 19-0. That's the score we have as of right now. East Lincoln 28, Statesville 7. That's the final. Mitchell, I'm used to saying Mitchell County, but Mitchell 41, Owens 7. That's what we have right now. These are not finals. These last group of numbers are not finals. Let's see here. East Series 35, North Series 6. Wilkes Central 28, Series Central 21. No score for the Forbush and West Wilkes. Don't have a score for them as of yet. East Wilkes 42, Elkins 7. That's the score we have of right now.
All right, so I'll give you some updates on some of this stuff. So Hickory scored with 5 minutes left to go in the game to go up 29-22, and they held on from there. 48-yard scoring drive, 2-yard touchdown by Isaiah Lackey to do that. Final, Hickory 29-22. Still waiting on that Bunker Hill final to come through. Let's go ahead while we got in the house. Steve DeGree is in the house tonight. Shelby Golden Lions win tonight 55-6. And while that sounds big, Steve, a little trouble there in the first. You guys were down after one quarter. And then halftime 14-6. You got the whole world worried about you guys, but 55-6 later, and that sounds about right for what most people thought. But Steve, tell us a little bit about, you were telling us Jefferson come out with a game plan trying to hold the ball quite a bit, right?
Yeah, they did. They coach. They had a great game plan. They won the toss. We elected to receive. They did the opening kickoff. Caught us off guard, I think, and the ball didn't go 10 yards, but one of our upmen touched the ball, and they recovered it. And you got the 40-second clock in high school when they put it in play, and the coach was using 38 seconds of every time to slow us down, and they was doing ball control, and so we finally stopped them and got on the field, and we went 3 and out. And then we got ready to kick got ready to punt the ball, and the guy blocked it. Believe it or not, I thought we had that took care of. One of our guys, I guess it just like a days ago, and then the guy went in and blocked it, and they scooped it up, took it in for the touchdown, and put them up 6-0. Then we finally got the ball back. Of course, we scored, and then we went up 7-6. They kept doing ball control, Will, the whole first half. We only had the ball 4 times the whole first half, 4 times, and we scored twice. And at halftime, it was 14-6 at halftime. And Coach Will Banks, we just went back to the drawing board. We changed our defensive strategy a little bit in the second half, and sometimes we went to 5 down linemen. We take out a back coast, a corner or safety, because we didn't really think they could hurt us with the pass. But they was running the ball on us pretty good. That this number 10 guy, oh man, he was tough. And they picked and choose. So we knew when we got the ball, we could score. So every time we got the ball, the second half, we scored. And then at the end, we finally got the running clock. But I was predicting that we would have the running clock by halftime. But that just shows you when you come out and you misjudge a team or think the team is going to lay down because you the Shelby Golden Lions.
Yeah.
Because we got Shelby written on our chest. everybody's not gonna lay down because you know they're gonna throw you their best punch, and they throw their best punch.
Everybody's looking to knock off Goliath.
Everybody's
looking to knock off the Goliath. So when you walk out on the field, you got to have that mentality that don't go out there thinking that, oh, this is all over. We need to get this and move on. You got to go out ready to play ball. You play every team regardless. You play every team with the intention of winning a ball game. You go out and play aggressive every time. You don't overlook anyone. That's when players get hurt. And that's when your team get hurt.
And you know, you got to play every single play. You can't let up. And I just think our guys just underestimate them. But the second half, we came back out and controlled the game. Like I say, at the very end, we did get the running clock finally, and was able to just get on out of there and give us something to look at on film to let these kids know. Look, maybe the best Mercedes and the Trevor team was not good as we are on paper, but those still kids. They got heart, they playing for pride.
Yeah,
you know, and they not gonna lay down.
Well, speaking of looking at film, Kevin, could you put that play up that we were talking about with Bridges and that little pass?
Yes.
Steve, I want you to watch this. I don't know if you can see it there on that monitor.
I know the one you're talking about. I actually thought it was a lateral.
Yeah, it was. That's what I was going to point out. It was behind. It was a backwards pass, and if the Thomas Jefferson player had been sharp and knowing what was going on, he could have picked up that ball and gone for a touchdown, which would have really put you in a bind.
Right.
But instead, Bridges was smart enough. He casually just picks up that ball and then off to the races.
And I was talking about that on the sideline. So I don't think Dalen he's not going to get credit for a touchdown on that particular play because I think it was a lateral. It would be a lateral.
It'll be a run.
And a fumble recovery for Isaiah for a touchdown.
Yeah, see where he's at when he releases the ball and where the ball goes. It is definitely a backwards pass.
It definitely was. I seen it on the little thing we have on the sideline.
Yeah.
It was a backwards pass. I'm glad he was head up to get the ball.
Now, what's crazy is how fast Bridges runs once he gets it. He's out.
See
way
right
back.
That's backwards.
Now, Will.
Now, that's a live ball right there. If that guy had just jumped on the ball and got possession of it.
I think some of the Thomas Jefferson players thought the ball was dead.
Right.
Yeah.
They actually thought.
We talked about that.
my
When the
Lord,
ball hits the ground, the DB kind of holds up for a second, and then now he's got him dead to rights, and then whoop.
See you later.
Then he's gone. How many touchdowns?
Steve.
We saw 4, I think. Did he get more than that? Or did he end up with 4?
I think he got maybe 4.
Okay.
I know at least 3 or 4. Like I said, that's going to be a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So got to take one of Dalen's touchdowns away. He's not maybe 8 or 9 off from the all-time record.
All-time record.
Isaiah has 83, and I think he's at least got 70 something now.
Yeah.
So that record I'm gonna go back a little ways because before Dalen Fuller was the quarterback, they was all run then, and then I think when Dalen's group came up, that's when they switched to the pass when Coach Lance took over.
Aaron Ware.
Aaron Ware.
Yeah, Coach Ware said he gets the credit for introducing the forward pass to Shelby High School.
Cleveland County.
Because, and then when we was at the middle school, when I was at the middle school, they put the pass in. I didn't even know how to. I had to do some adjusting myself because I've been a run block offensive line coach 4 yards in the cloud of dust. And on these particular pass plays, you have to block different than you do on running plays.
That's true.
You got to set your feet different ways. So, it took a little time to get adjusted to it.
You go from teaching these guys that they've been taught, from pretty much pee wee ball, the drive. Where you gonna go? Drive. Right. And then you have to start teaching them take a step back and stand.
Right.
And place your feet. So it was a little bit different in the beginning, but it did. I mean, it changed the perplexity of Shelby High football. When these guys went in.
we got the Kevin Strader right now.
And will if you check Bob and Jim Sherman do a great job with the statistics at Shepherd High School. And if you could look back with some of those with our quarterbacks, I think maybe Mike Callahan, he might have threw 11 touchdowns in a career. Let's know 7 in one game, because I can remember Coach Allen. He went through the ball. He went out through it. No. He said, because 3 things going to happen. Say 2 of them bad.
Well, Steve, you mentioned that as far as the, only throwing a couple of times in the game. Last week, Jameer Holmes for Bessemer set the school record for 5 touchdowns, and I don't know how many times I threw 5 passes in a game at Bessemer. It wasn't there was 5 touchdowns. Y'all better go to the house every time I throw it.
It just shows you how the game has changed.
It's for me, if we're playing quarterback. So in 10th grade, we talked a little earlier. Coach Quattlebaum was there. He actually put the spread in. Like, we were running the spread. I was running Peyton Manning. I could audible every play like Peyton Manning in 10th grade. Then in 11th grade, we get new coaches in. They come in and bring in the option, the triple option offense, and I'm like, this is so boring. There's nothing for me to do. It's just wasting my time, and I hated it. And I went and I just I had way more fun playing defense when we were running that type of offense. I just go over and hit somebody and guard their best wide receiver and have fun with it.
Your spread came from. Your spread came from Cleveland County, because that's what we were running at, Chris, before Coach Cornerbone went over there.
Back
in the early 90s.
We used to run, in the days of Max Beam, we run a dive off the tackle,
dive left and
dive
right,
off the guard, and that was the variety that you got. Now, you're going to run off the guard or you're going to run off the tackle. And then we put in the veer. Oh, man, as a quarterback, you got to step out. And you either got to pitch that ball or you got to take that ball and cut, by the end. And so that really pepped up the offense.
You don't cut by the end if he's Julius Peppers.
No, he was a running back at Nash.
He was a running back at Nash.
Steve, you'll probably remember. You remember the big kids up at Chase?
McSwain boys.
Early 2000. I don't think it was McSwain. It was.
I'm 30 years earlier.
Carlos Ray or something like that. Wasn't he?
Carlos Watkins.
Yes.
Watkins. Carlos Ray
he plays for the Dallas Cowboys now.
Not whoever plays now. I'm talking about. It was in 2000. This dude, he went somewhere like Penn State or somewhere. I can't remember. But anyway, he's playing defensive end for Chase, and we snuck
Tennessee.
We snuck our fast guy in for end around. Will and I heard. Ooh.
Just be glad it wasn't you.
And I turned around, and I swear the dude was like suplexing Deontay, and just like it looked bad. It looked like he got Goldberged. And then so they call a timeout. They have to scrape him off the field, and they give him a smelling sauce. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He ain't even reacting to that. So he's sitting there going, "Oh, the smelling salt." And then they call the next play. He was on my right, option right, and I'm like, no. No. Audible. The kid that brought the play in was like, what do you mean no? I said, just go to the line, we'll call something. I just called pitch left.
Coach, don't call that play no more.
Yeah, he called. I'm going to run the option right at that dude. He called right at him.
Don't call it.
Teach him a lesson.
Yeah. Leroy don't want the ball.
All right, so real quick, I'm going to let y'all read some more scores. JP and me's got to get set up for the post-game show, and I'm going to let y'all do this for just a minute, and then we'll get back ready on the radio with everybody as we get Brent and everybody off the air. So I'll let you guys handle some of these real quick, and I'll be right back while y'all do that.
All right, it was the East Gaston Warriors over the Cherville Ironmen, 32-0. Bessemer City Yellow Jackets, 60. Highland Tech Rams, 6. Crest High Chargers, 54. Kramer Storm, 28. Chase Trojans, 55. East Rutherford, 9. The Lincoln Wolves win late in the last second gas, 22-21 over Newton Conover. Mayton over West Lincoln, 27-17. East Burke falls to Bandy's, 35-14. South Point, 35. Hunter Husky, 7. Kings Mountain 56, North Gaston 0. Ashbrook falls to Forest View 24-21. Shelby over Thomas Jefferson 55-6. Hendersonville over Polk County 32-21. Brevard over Orange Central 44-6. Bunker Hill over West Caldwell 45-6. Community School of Davidson 36. Mountain Island Charter 6. Don't have a score for Carver and Bishop McGinnis. Don't have a score for Pine Lap Prep and Winston-Salem Prep. Drone over Avery County 57-7. West Charlotte, the score we have right now is 7-0 over West Meck. Don't have a score for St. Stephen's and North Iredale. Hickory came back and went up with 5 minutes left in the game. Win over North Lincoln 29-22. West Iredale 26. Ford 8. East Lincoln 28. Statesville 7. Mitchell 41. Owens 7. East Surrey 35. North Surrey 6. Wick Central 28. Surrey Central 21. Don't have a score for Forbush and West Wilkes. And it's East Wilkes 42. Elton 7. Excuse me, it's just 7. So that's the scores we have as of right now. We talked to Steve about their slow start in the game, but they prevail anyway. We looked at some of their highlights. We've looked at some of the West Lincoln highlights in that game earlier. Then is what game that I was surprised about.
Yeah.
I don't know why I expected more.
Hold on, guys.
Oh,
Send it to me. Go ahead. Am I on? Good evening, everybody. Am I on now, JP? We on. Live. Kevin Hasty. That's me. Dennis Davis.
That's
JP,
me.
wave at everybody on YouTube.
Hey.
Wave at everybody on YouTube.
What's up?
And we've got the 4 horsemen in the house tonight. Kevin Hastings, that's me. Will the Thrill Boykins, Dennis Davis, and Steve DeGree's in the house. Good to see Steve. I'm so glad he came in. And just to tell on ourselves, we forgot he was coming. It's Will's fault.
what?
I blame the Crest people, Steve. I blame all the Crest people.
Well, you got on green and gold too.
What?
We always getting blamed for something.
I mean, I guess so.
I have green and yellow.
Normally they blame me, so I don't know what the problem is there. Normally
Steve,
I'm the one
last
that's
week-
always in the fault here.
JP was trying to eat my wings.
Yeah.
No.
Last week.
I was in
Done
here
told
playing my
everybody on the
game.
radio as I'm coming to. I'm like 2 seconds from they start the show. He coming to, and he telling everybody, I don't know where Will Boykins is at. I guess I'm gonna eat his wings. We got him.
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah. And now he's saying no.
No.
No, I was in here playing my game. I was just waiting for you not to come in so I could take the wings
already
home.
had
Well, JP, at least you got a chance. I didn't even get in. So.
Yeah, I know. I had a chance, but no.
I'll order something for Steve next week when he's not going to be here.
Meanwhile, back to
Yeah.
Hey, make sure we have Steve a plate next Friday night. Where y'all at next Friday?
Oh, we got homecoming. We got Highland set.
We'll see you here at 8
Oh,
o'clock
Steve,
again.
well, we'll see Steve next week for sure.
For
We'll see
sure.
you at 8:30 again next week.
Make sure you order Steve's plate.
You don't think that game's gonna last too long?
No, they scared in the first quarter this week.
Yeah, they had a problem.
Yeah, Steve, you can leave after the first quarter and come on.
I
over.
promise you, I know Coach Wilbanks very well. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But the
gonna
boys
trip
ain't
with
gonna
him.
like practice this week.
Oh no, he's not.
they not gonna like practice. He was not happy with that first half of that game. They're not gonna like practice this week.
And that line that let that guy block that punt, they gonna live hard.
You mean the person?
The person. Don't call him out.
You have to
No, I'm not gonna call him out.
You want to call his number?
I'm not gonna do that. But I used to tell Coach Allen, Coach, I made the block, but you know what? The film don't lie.
The film don't lie. No, sir.
I swear I blocked him, Coach.
So,
you ain't blocking long enough.
That's usually how it goes with the coaches, isn't it? All right, let's go over some scores for the folks on the radio. We've been online on the post game show. For the folks online, I'm gonna add Steve to the shot there. All right, so for the folks on the radio, they haven't heard the scores yet, guys. So let's give. I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly as we can because we got to get a bunch of phone callers tonight for all of our scores and games. Working on a couple finals here and there. Still to work on, folks, so bear with us. We'll get those in, I promise. If you got something you can send to us, let JP know. You can call him or text me or Will or Dennis or Steve, anybody here. All right, let's go over some of the scores. Finals. I'm going to give you finals first, and I'll go through and try to get some of these fixed. Chase 55-9 over East Rutherford. Lincoln 22-21. Late minute, last second touchdown for the Wolves makes it 22-21. They've had some drama in their games the last 2 weeks. Maiden down 17-14 in the third quarter, wins 27-17, pulling away from the West Lincoln Rebels. UNC signee, Dennis. Signee, Chris Culliver of Maiden. 4 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
So he is going to be a Tar Heel.
It says, according to the Crawdads beat writer covers the games up there, Mark Parker, I want to thank him for tweeting along day. We've got a lot of his stuff. Let's see. Then we got, what game was that? I was just talking about Maiden and West Lincoln. Bandy's wins big tonight over East Burke, 35-14. South Point, 35-7 over Hunter Huss. Kings Mountain, 56-0 over North Gasta. 24-21 Forest View over Ashbrook. Shelby at 55-6 winners over Thomas Jefferson. 32-21 Hendersonville over Polk County. Brevard, 44-6 over RS Central. Hickory, 29-22 winners over North Lincoln. West Iredale gets their first win tonight, 26-8 over Ford. And East Lincoln, 28-7 over the Statesville Greyhounds tonight. Those are the finals that we do have. We'll be talking to, I think, David Potter right now.
Yes, David's on the line.
David, you got me there, bub?
I'm here.
All right, David Potter was there tonight with Tom Cinefani for the Lincoln Wolves and the Newton Conover Red Devils. And David, we've had some blowouts here on the broadcast the last few weeks. You finally got you guys a pretty good nail biter there going on in Lincoln tonight.
Yes, we did. After last week's late score by West Lincoln to win their ball game tonight, you can't score any later than Lincolnton did. They scored, and there was no time on the clock by the time they got everybody unpiled. So they kicked the extra point, and they complete the comeback victory.
So, Dave, a little bit about how the game went. Not a lot of points, obviously, in the game. 8-7 for the most part of the game, and then Newton Conover looked like they were pulling away and going to win this thing. And then Lincoln for the second week in the row, all kinds of drama and fun late in the game, and they pull off the win this week.
Yeah, it was pretty much a defensive struggle most of the game. We knew Lincolnton had a really good defense, and Newton Conovers did a really good job keeping Lincolnton bottled up for the most part. They did get one touchdown late in the half. Basically, they went on a drive and just lined up in a full house backfield and just kept running the ball. So that's probably the best that the Lincolnton running game has looked probably all season.
Well, Dave, we're looking at this last touchdown here on the highlight, and it looks like you talk about just lining up and going through. Is that a quarterback sneak? They just went in, and the late call looks like the fans were waiting on the score, and finally got the touchdown call. Lincoln fans.
Oh, we were waiting as well. I mean, it was really a strange sequence there because they ran the ball once. They thought he was in, and it took a long time to unpile things. The referees finally stopped the clock. They said he was down about 6 inches short, so then they started the clock again. Lincolnton's out of timeout. They didn't go right up to the ball. They actually stood and looked over to the sideline for a few seconds, then went up and ran the play. So by the time they got done with that was going to be the last play. and they waited and waited and waited, and finally the referee signaled touchdown, and that tied the score. And then Peyton Rangel made the extra point to win the ball game.
Well, is this Lincoln's second win?
It's their second win. They had a comeback victory over North Lincoln the second week of the season. They came back in the fourth quarter and beat them.
That's right.
Third win, technically.
Third win.
Yeah, because last week they.
Oh, we still talking about Bunker Hill?
They got the bad call, so the third win, technically.
Yep, so that makes them 2-3, and this is about the point of the season last year where Lincolnton ran off 4 straight wins, got to 4-3 in conference, and was able to make the state playoffs. So maybe they're going to get ready to go on a bit of a run here. They've got Bandy's next week, who they defeated last year. So it'll be interesting to see how Lincolnton showed a lot of results coming back, not only from the disappointment last week, but being down in the fourth quarter. And before they scored the winning touchdown, it was actually they had scored before that, but it was taken off the board. Andre Boss fielded the punt at his 10-yard line, went to the left, went to the right, went back to the middle, went to the left, and he took it 90 yards for a touchdown, but it was called back because of a face mask penalty on the receiving team back at the 30-yard line. So then they had to drive 85 yards with 3 minutes to go to win the ball game.
Well, one thing, David, I think that really changed tonight was with that Lincolnton comeback victory and the West Lincoln loss tonight. That conference is now looking a lot different than it looked like just West Lincoln was going to steamroll through that.
Well, they always had Maiden, seems to have their number. So they had to get past that. And it continues next week. They get Bunker Hill down at their place. That's a game we'll be doing next week. So Bunker Hill will be at West Lincoln. And this is what happened to them last year. They ran into these two teams back-to-back, lost both those games, but then finished off the season running the table until they got to Maiden again in the second round of the playoffs.
Well, there you go. That conference is still to be determined, if you will.
Well, David, how much you know about what else happened in the area? Do you know any of the other scores that I've told you? I don't know if you want me to update you on anything.
Yeah, East Lincoln took care of business against Statesville. If we're looking at the Lincoln County schools, they won 28-7. Statesville doesn't seem to be quite the power they were last year. East Lincoln's looking to be the best team in that 3A conference. And North Lincoln had a lead on Hickory, but gave it back and ended up losing 29-22. So the Knights are still looking for their first win after 5 straight losses.
It's been a while since we've said that. They were up 22-7, David, in that ball game.
Oh, it's that bad. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yes. I see here late in the first half they were. That's right.
And then West Lincoln tonight and Maiden was kind of back and forth. What was fun was reading the tweets about what all happened in that game. Let me go back. I want to read a couple of these just to give you an idea how silly it was. Let's see. Maiden takes opening kick, drives 58 yards in 7 plays, Culliver with a touchdown. Maiden goes length of the field for a touchdown, is called back on holding. The very next pass is intercepted by West Lincoln. They turn it into a 7-7 tie. So it should have been 14-0 on a touchdown. It was called back. West Lincoln picks off the next play, and they go down and score to make it 7-7 in that ball game. Then Maiden went up 13-7, missed the extra point. It's 13-7 at the half. Halftime stats: Mason Avery had 9 carries for 59 yards. Jacob Sigmund for Maiden had 8 catches for 108 yards at halftime, so that was pretty good for him, not Culliver.
Wow, that's quite a performance.
It says West Lincoln takes the second half kick, and chop block kills the momentum, and they get a field goal. Made it 13-10. And then Maiden punter missed the ball, so he drops it. But what they fall on it, West Lincoln ends up the ball at the 32, 3 plays for the score, and West Lincoln scores. So they got their 2 touchdowns off of blown plays by Maiden, basically, to just even, and then they almost won the game that way, David. So thoughts on the Maiden like you just said, Maiden seems to always have their number. Or something. It seems like.
Yeah, you would think with the quarterback graduating last year for Maiden is like, well, maybe this is the time. And then you get the transfer of Wesley Thompson to come in, and he's been throwing it all around the lot. And, of course, if you got Chris Culliver and who was the other player you said that caught a bunch of passes tonight?
Oh, I'll find it in 2 seconds now that you just said that.
Yeah, I was just you said it, and it went right by me.
Yeah.
But I mean, so he's got some good targets to throw to. Again, it's not just Culliver; he's got other people.
Jacob Sigmund.
And
Jacob Sigmund ended up with 13 catches, 186 yards.
Wow.
Oh goodness, that's a season for some people.
Yeah,
so
Just depends.
that might be a
what
season
system
for
you
West
have.
Lincoln. They just don't throw the ball much.
All right, so David, next week, who we got in Lincoln County on the broadcast?
We have Bunker Hill at West Lincoln. So, again, that'll really sort things out at the top of the conference. Those are the 3 teams people thought were going to be contenders as they were last year. And it pretty much seems like it's going to hold the form. We'll see what comes out of that game.
Yep, Bunker Hill tonight. Big. They were up 45-6. I never got a final on that one, but they were up big. They'll be 5-0. West Lincoln and Maiden 4-1 in that conference. David, I appreciate the call and the work.
Well, thank you for having me, and keep sending me great games like this. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, David. You have a good weekend.
All right, thank you. You too.
David Potter on the broadcast.
I should have talked to him about how did he like working with Tom Settle.
Oh, we didn't put it on.
Hey, don't put a man on the spot like that.
You don't want to make somebody talk bad about Tom at this time of night. He'll come in tomorrow mad at me.
Call Matt Royster. He'll fill you in.
So I was going to say, I do want to say, so the reason Tom is helping out tonight is David's partner and my good friend Jason had a 4-wheeler accident.
Oh wow!
A side-by-side accident to be specific. He was not driving; he was a passenger. And right now, last time I heard, he's over here at Cleveland Hospital with some broken legs and broken leg and some broken ribs. And
wow.
He's over here.
So
I don't know if he's listening right now or tonight. He might be asleep and not caring right now.
Oh, he got broke stuff. He
Depending on the
he been on some goofy stuff.
Probably got a little of that good stuff
He got
going
some-
on right now.
Thoughts and prayers of Jason Sane and those, and I hope he'll be back in a couple of weeks. And but he needed some time off to recover and feel a little bit better on that. So that's
Although
why Tom ended up over there tonight.
I do
Plus
remember
Burns had a bye.
Yes,
Plus,
Burns had a bye.
I do remember laying in the rehab and listening to Steve's Golden Lions win a state championship one year. Couldn't quite be doing the post-game show, but at least you can listen to it on the radio.
Yep. Finals. East Gaston, Dennis, 38-0 over Cherryville.
Yeah.
The Crest game is the final now, 54-28 for the folks wondering about that one that I haven't put up on the board yet. We're going to talk. Matt Chapman's going to call here in just a little bit. We'll talk to him in about 15 minutes when he gets home. We're going to talk to Paul Foster about Rutherford County.
Yeah.
And then Steve's already here.
Maybe Paul could give us a report on the running back up there and his injury.
So he said he did text me. He said he left the game in the first half. Injured knee, X-rays/MRI looking at tomorrow. Prayers for McCombs. Really good running back, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's just a sprain or tweak or something that he can
Precaution.
he can get healthy.
So,
Go ahead.
Kev, question.
Yes.
When we talked to Steve earlier, we was on the internet, right?
Right.
So we need to talk to Steve for the radio.
Right, for the radio folks.
I want to make sure
all that
I want to
stuff
make
you
sure
said, Steve,
Steve
just repeat
get his
it.
time.
Well, yeah.
Just repeat all that stuff you said.
Yeah, repeat all. No, we started the show earlier. Obviously, we start the post game show every night on the internet at 10 o'clock, folks. For the folks listening on the radio, if the games aren't over by 10, you guys can always pull us up on the internet on YouTube, and then we'll join in the radio coverage. But yeah, Steve Degree's in the house, and he had Thomas Jefferson tonight over at their house, and we talked 55-6 the final, Steve. That is obviously not the score of the game. For the most part, after one quarter, Jefferson led 6-0, and halftime, you guys were up 14-6, and you had the whole state of North Carolina worried about what's going on over there in a one-score ball game. But like you described on the internet earlier, Thomas Jefferson brought their A game when it comes to the time game. Right tonight, Steve, they held the ball almost the whole first half, didn't they?
Yes, they first started off. They kicked off to us. I think they caught us off guard. They did the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
Our up man didn't realize the ball had to travel 10 yards, but he touched it and they recovered. Then they played the time game with us. I think you get 40 seconds to snap the ball before you want to get delay of the game, and their quarterback will snap it with like 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
So that's 38 seconds gone right there, and they done it continuous over and over and over. And when we did get the ball back, throw 3 passes and 3 incomplete, so we had a punt. And one of our up mans, I hope he realizes who he is, because come Monday, Coach Popham had a word of prayer with him. He missed the guy, and he blocked the punt, and he picked it up, ran it back for the touchdown, and that put him up 6-0. So then we finally got the ball again, boom, 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 touchdown. Then they got the ball back again, same strategy again, over and over again. They tried to shorten, which was smart. The coach played real smart, because when you play Shelby, everybody knows you're gonna get the A game.
Yeah.
They can be 0 and whatever, but they're gonna try to find a way to upset you. And at halftime, we was up 14-6, and the fans on their side act like they had won the lottery, because they was only down by 1 touchdown. So we came back out the second half, and they got the ball right back again. So we miscued again on the kick. So they did time consuming again, and we changed our defense. Went to a 5-down lineman, because they really wasn't a threat to throw it. But they was running that. It's number 10. He ran the ball. He ran hard. I mean, he ran hard.
Steve, that is Holden Weatherford.
Holden Weatherford.
Senior
Right.
linebacker and SB. What does SB stand for?
Slot back.
Slot back. 5'9", 155. Holden Weatherford said he ran pretty good tonight, right?
He ran tough. And I told him after the game, I said, son, you ran hard. And we were finally able to use our speed with Isaiah, and Dalen ran a touchdown, and our running back, Bryson Key, most of the time if he get the seam, he's going to take it to the house. And so our defense picked the intensity up a little bit the second half. I'm not really
Well, your defense
sold on our defense yet. We need to get some more dogs.
But y'all didn't. Your defense actually didn't give up a point tonight, right?
Yeah,
It was a block. It was a block.
Yeah,
kick.
but they gave up more yards than they should have. Every time you get a man, if he run the ball, he get 5 yards every carry. They don't never have to punt.
No.
So then we start getting them in bad situation where they had to throw, and we Tyler Boyce and we sacked them a couple of times. Nigel Woods, he had a couple of sacks, so we finally got control of the game. We had the ball, I think like 10 times, and we scored 8. That's why they wanted to try to keep the ball from us, because they figured they couldn't stop us on offense. So my hats off to that coach. And only thing I say, fellas, is somebody going to take this film,
Yeah.
and they're going to use that same strategy
same
against
strategy.
us.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling our kids, you better score when we can, because eventually somebody going to have a good running back, and they're going to really run the ball on us.
Yeah.
And that's so when that coach came in with that good game plan, my hat's off to him, because he figured, say, if I slow him down, if I keep them on the bench, they can't score. And that's exactly what he did until we got hold of the game. Then the fourth quarter, we were able to get the running clock.
But you did say y'all went back, y'all went kind of back old school. Y'all went to more of a 50-base defense to stop that run. Right up top. Just put one man over the top. You didn't need to, because you wasn't scared of them throwing the ball. Your athletes are at corner, I think, have caught up. They've shook the inexperience off. I think they're going to be fine there. And if you have to run that 50 base, I think your corners is going to stand up, and that's going to kill that run down the middle.
But also, when you walk that safety up, he got to be willing to hit. Because once they have a tight end to your side,
sir.
When you have a tight end to your side, the end man needs to hit that tight end every time to crash it in, stay flat. And they sort of got to pick that up at the end. But Coach Hollifield and all those defensive guys, they'll work on that Monday. And we just have to see what happens.
One day you might wake up.
That's me. Hit the computer button for me, Steve. Shut that up. That'll work. Sorry.
So anyway, I'm just glad that we did can take control of the game. I was just like, what's going on, you know? But guys, every once in a while you'll have a game like that. You'll underestimate a team.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our guys did.
Well, Steve, on a more positive note for Shelby, looking back about 3 weeks ago, I think it was after the first collegiate game of the year, they had a ranking of the top linebackers in the United States, collegiate linebackers. Of the 5 top-ranked linebackers in the country,
number 4,
3 of them were from Shelby.
Wow.
Dax Hollifield was the number 2 ranked linebacker in the country. And then we dropped on down, I think, to number 4, the young man that's at Missouri.
Day.
Yeah,
Wilson.
Day was there. And at number 5,
Tarion.
the young man that's at NC State. Scott.
Jalen Scott. Number 2.
So you had 3 of the top 5 linebackers in the entire nation of college football from Shelby High School.
Well, Day actually went to Kings Mountain.
Yeah.
No. Day wasn't in there. It was Tarion Hopper. It was in there. Tarion, he's from Shelby. He's Cleveland County native, but he played his high school ball in Georgia.
All right, guys, we got a phone caller. Paul Foster on the line. He was up in Rutherford County, our Waggy broadcaster. Chase Wednesday night, 55-9. Brevard beats RS Central 44-6, and Shelby 55-6 over Thomas Jefferson. There's your Rutherford County scores night. Paul Foster's up at Chase tonight. The big news, of course, Paul, and everybody's won't know, and I guess we don't know anything specifically, but Marcus McCombs did get hurt there in the first half, injured his knee, and set out the rest of the game, right?
He sure did. Good evening, guys. Always enjoy listening to you, and thank you for fitting me into the program tonight. Yeah, it was around midfield. He was taken off with another rushing of the football, and one of the East Rutherford players kind of collided with him, and all of a sudden we noticed that he tried to go ahead and immediately get up, but he was limping, and I thought he was favoring his ankle. He was met before he got off the field by a couple of the trainers, and he could not even make it to one of the benches before he just had to fall down onto the Chase sideline, onto the grass. And from talking to some other people, and of course, you don't like to get too personal when a kid's going through that. They said he was pretty emotional. And then later I talked to one of the assistant coaches who said it was actually his knee and that he would be checked out tomorrow and have the MRI and all that kind of stuff. So that's about as much as we know, but we're certainly thinking of that young man.
Yeah, obviously Marquise is one of the best running backs in our area and in the state of North Carolina, and thoughts and prayers with his family and him and the program. Looking forward next week, they got Hendersonville, right? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, it's actually going to be a home game, but a lot of people that keep saying, Chase has never been tested yet this season. They've just met some opponents in the conference that are kind of down a little bit from Owen and some other teams. This is the true test. Hendersonville's lost only one game, and everybody's been looking forward to this one. Now the question is going to be, though, is Chase going to have to do it without McCombs on the field? We'll have to wait and see.
The young man that came in for him, he's had a few touchdowns the past few weeks. He's played decent, right?
Yes, he has. He's actually a senior. That's number 7, Brennan Austin. He had a tremendous night. I'm sure he was over 100 yards when it was over with. He had one touchdown run of about 50 yards. He had another of 7 yards. So he's showing he can be a weapon. And one of the guys they use at quarterback, he's Jalen Rudisell. They brought him in and ran some plays through him, and he's another tremendous athlete. So we hate to think about McCombs not being on the field, but I need to paint the picture, especially for people from Cherryville to Shelby and other parts of the area that don't know. This is one Chase team that's got a lot of athletes. In other words, they've got people that can throw the ball, return the football, do all kind of things. So they're not just a Marquise McCombs football team.
Well, every time you guys do a broadcast, obviously we hear DeRiesman's name all the time. Not too many people ask faster than him on a football field, right?
No, he plays wide receiver and also safety on defense, and he's got a lot of speed. He had a couple of mental mistakes tonight where he actually was getting ready to return some punts, and he just let the ball fall through his hands and gave East Rutherford an opportunity to get a couple of turnovers tonight. But otherwise, he caught a touchdown pass. He had a return for a touchdown. So, yep, Kevin, you're right. He's another weapon.
Well, was that DeRiesma there the first touchdown pass, the little out, and then he beat the DI down the sideline?
Yes, sir. That's right.
We're watching your highlights right now and trying to keep up with what you're saying and flip around at the same time. But nice little out route, and then he shook the corner right there, and then from the 35 he was gone. We talked a little bit about this East Rutherford team. They're so young, Paul. They got freshman quarterback out there and all kinds of young kids out there playing for them right now.
Yeah, they do. You're right. Landon Flynn, freshman quarterback. Brandon Pinkerton is a 9th grade running back. Both these guys have key moments for the team. They're still going through a lot of bumps in the road right now. And if they stay intact and the guys stay in school there, I think in a couple of seasons from now, we'll be talking about a much different East Rutherford team as far as wins and losses. But right now it is what it is, and they are super, young and inexperienced.
Well, they got a field goal and a touchdown tonight. You remember either one of those names off the top of your head?
Keldon Ballstick is the kicker. He hit a very short field goal. That was their best opportunity to score. They had got in the red zone, and they got even to up as far as the 4-yard line, and then it ended up being 4th down. They decided not to chance it, so it brought him out, and he kicked the short field goal. And then the other touchdown was in the left corner of the end zone, I believe, when sophomore wide receiver, number 11, Blake McClellan, caught the touchdown pass in the 4th quarter from Flynn. So that was their 2 scores tonight.
All right, Paul, we're looking at the touchdown here for East Rutherford right now. As you talk, quarterback drop back pass, rolled left, looking left, and he finds a man into the corner of the end zone.
That's going to be dangerous. You think these kids, just now freshmen, the offensive line is going to have all that, playing varsity for 4 years. They're these kids that are out there playing for East Rutherford right now are literally saving their program.
Right, too well. And if you think about it, Paul, this they agree. These kids, when they was in East Middle School, remember they won. They took us step to the final.
Yeah,
Wyndham had to play them twice.
Yeah,
and they won the Rutherford County Championship when these kids was in middle school. So they're not going to go down.
Well, you're right, Steve. I said inexperience as far as playing varsity football. But it all starts in the smaller ranks, and these guys have got some experience, and they're just going to get better. And that's the thing exciting for Coach Russ. He knew this was going to be a tough one, but a lot of people are, they don't like to come out and sound like they're bragging because they don't have a lot to brag about right now. But they said, give us a couple of seasons, and you're going to see some quality football again at East Rutherford. And I believe that to be true.
Well, Paul, next week, Chase and Hendersonville on Waggy, and good luck to you and Jonathan. Y'all be careful going up there being at home, and hope we got a good broadcast and another good game up there next week.
Hey, Paul, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Henderson beat Chase last year? I think that was the only conference game they lost last year. So I know Coach Carter got the revenge thing this week for those kids to give them a little extra boost.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And, of course, the coach that was at Hendersonville is now at Crest, if I'm not mistaken. So, there's a lot of interest in that one. Good to talk with you guys, Kevin. My thoughts and prayers go out to you. You're still teaming up with Dennis Davis, and I know it takes a lot out of you this week.
You need to pray for me, Paul. You need to pray for me, brother. I had to bring in a deacon to help me out.
Hey, Paul, he done me so wrong. He ain't even leave me nothing to eat.
Mercy. Y'all take care.
Well, Dennis, I guess he met you once or twice.
He's a former student of mine, Will, as are you.
And Waggy, next week they'll have Hendersonville and Chase, which should be an extremely good game here on KTC Broadcasting. Excited about that game. JP, who we got on the phone now? Is Matt on the phone?
What's up, guys?
I'm not
there's Matt.
100% sure.
That's Matt. I got
That's Matt. That's Matt.
The call ID says Megan, so I know it's not that. I just didn't know who he was.
He could be Megan. Hey, Megan.
She pays the phone bill. What's up, guys?
Megan, you got a manly voice.
Never mind.
He ain't
you
quite-
got some hair on your chest there, Megan.
hey, this man got good sense. He know to make mama happy. He got good sense.
All right, well, Matt, of course, you're on the Cherryville Ironman beat after moving over from the Lincoln County. We've got you in Cherryville. They lose tonight. The split conference last week, of course, lost to Shelby. This week, East Gaston, I think, combined 78-0. Is that right? And we've talked earlier, all kinds of different. We shoot this dead horse all we want. Different ways to fix this and what to do about it. But right now, you can't do nothing about it but play through it. Ironman, though, however, Matt, they're in the 1A, so they don't have to deal with these teams once playoff times come. But they've got to beat Thomas Jefferson. They got to beat Highland Tech, and they got Bessemer City coming up in a few weeks as well. So how's the Ironman health-wise, and how are they looking right now as far as what's going on in Ironmanville?
Well, health-wise, they're getting a little better. They didn't have quite as many guys down this week as they did last week, and then, of course, they're off next week, so that bye comes at a good time to hopefully get as healthy as possible. I know I don't know if Landon Hahn, the top receiver, I don't know if he'll be able to come back, and I think that's really the one that's been hurting them the most. They've got other solid receivers, guys that can get open underneath and pretty good possession guys, but he was really the speed threat for the offense to keep the defense honest, and without him, they've just really been struggling to get big plays. I think tonight was the third straight shutout. I don't think they've scored since that crazy comeback down in South Carolina. Of course, those last three games, Chase, Shelby, and East Gaston, obviously a little bit of a murderer's row there. But you mentioned it. They've got the 1A portion of their schedule mostly in the back half. And I think as long as they can come out of these tough games mostly healthy, I think it could help them, down the road when they're playing those important games to have already been tested by teams, like Shelby, like Chase, East Gaston, West Lincoln. They've played, I got to think one of the more difficult schedules among 1A teams here in the early going in the season. You just hope that they're not so beat up once they get through it that they don't have anything left for the 1A teams in the conference.
Well, you're right as far as schedule-wise. Avery County, West Lincoln, Blacksburg, and Chase, comparatively speaking, they might even have a harder schedule than Chase does here at the start of the season. But you do got through the next four against 1A schools. You got Highland Tech in 2 weeks, Thomas Jefferson. You got 2 weeks to get healthy. And you did mention Hahn. In the past few years, he's obviously one of the fastest kids on the field, usually, and one of their best weapons, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's definitely the deep threat. He plays both ways, so he's great in the secondary, too, and he's the returner. He returns punts, returns kicks. He's actually the punter, too. So when he went down, they lost quite a bit, and he still got his arm in a sling. He still had his arm in a sling out there tonight. So I don't know how close he is, but aside from him, I think they should be getting mostly healthy, hopefully coming off of that bye week next week.
Matt, looking as far as ahead that goes, we said they got Bessemer and everything else, and with their health wise, it's I guess it's between them and Bessemer right now. With Thomas Jefferson, Steve, you saw them tonight. You've seen Cherryville and Thomas Jefferson back-to-back weeks. How would you assess maybe that matchup there coming up in a couple weeks? How those two teams, as far as from you guys' standpoint, how would they match up together?
Well, if Thomas Jefferson can use that ground control, but the kid he's talking about, I think that's that guy number 7. Play baseball too.
Yeah.
I talked to that kid last week. We sitting there talking to him. Seemed like he's a great young man. But if,
he is.
But if Thomas Jefferson can use ball control, I don't know that'd be a toss up.
Yeah.
Both teams play hard. They play hard for what they got for the kids they put on the field. They play hard.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think the defense is pretty solid. Even tonight in the first half, I thought the defense played pretty well. It was only 16-0 until East Gaston broke a long run on like the last play of the half. So they had held them to 16, and one of those touchdowns came on a blocked punt. So really, the defense played pretty well. It's just kind of they haven't been able to get anything going on offense. They can't really move the line of scrimmage, so running the ball has been a struggle. They hit a few nice pass plays tonight, just can't get consistent enough. And any time they would start putting a drive together, they'd either have a 4 or 5 yard loss on first down trying to run the ball, or obviously a penalty or something to move them back and get them behind the chains. And it's just not enough firepower at the moment to really recover when you put yourself in those situations.
Hey, Matt Wilborkins, I just want to ask you, if you've been watching Trouble, and the problems that are the problems up front is the front five is just because they've been outsized on the front five with these last few games that they had. 2 weeks in a row, I think they gave up 108 points in 2 weeks and not been able to get on the scoreboard. Is it just would you put it mostly on the front five? Not just being sized up, because the competition they've been playing size-wise have been, from what I've seen in the clips, size-wise they have been greatly bigger.
There's definitely been a huge size difference, especially lately. Even when we went down to Blacksburg to play the team out of South Carolina, I mean, I when I got there and walked in the stadium, the first thing I thought was, wow, these guys are a good bit bigger than Cherryville is. And fortunately, the Ironmen were still able to pull that one out. But, yeah, they've definitely been undersized against these good 2A teams. And I'd say definitely offensively, the struggles running the ball, I think, are, starting up front. They've getting hit in the backfield a whole lot. There's just not much running room at all, or hasn't been in recent weeks. So definitely up front, they've had their struggles this season, and they definitely are undersized. There's no doubt about that.
I know one thing, Coach Pruitt must be a great salesman with young men. But can you imagine never getting a score, but the kids come right back to work on Monday to work hard to try to prepare for the next week? That takes a lot of character from young men. That takes a lot of character. A lot of kids just want to lay down, but as you notice, Trevor, they'll come right back at you the next play, right back at you the next play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I was Danny actually drove down with Coach Pruitt, and so I was helping him take the equipment back down after the game, and spoke briefly with Coach Pruitt, and he's obviously it's been a tough stretch, but you can tell he's not down. He's gonna be right back at it Monday morning, like you said, Steve, and they got an extra week to prepare, and then they got homecoming when they come back, and that's a big game against a 1A opponent. That's a game that's going to mean a lot for how things will shake out at the end of the season, and I don't have any doubt he'll have them ready. We'll just see what happens. Like I said, hopefully they can get healthier over this break.
All right, Matt. Well, I appreciate everything you do. And, hey, guys, next time Matt's on the radio, heard Danny talk about this earlier, hopefully be a nice, proud father of a baby boy, right?
Baby girl.
Oh,
she's
girl. I was
she's
thought that
due
was
any
boy.
day now.
Any
Today
day.
was actually the due date. Went to the doctor yesterday. She thinks probably next weekend is more likely, but she could come anytime. We're excited.
This is your first, right?
Yeah, first kid.
And do you have a name?
No, we've got it narrowed down to 2. We're not sure yet. That's been the toughest part.
It's not too late. The baby ain't here. It ain't too late till the baby get here.
Hey, man, I tell you what to do. Just to give them all their names. Give them 2 or 3 names. Just hook it all together, and that way you can't go wrong.
Hey, Matt, don't
I like
feel
that.
bad. We thought we were having a boy, back when in the prehistoric days, before all these modern exams and everything. We thought we were having a boy named Kyle. Well, it comes out, and she's rolling out the cart, and she says, "It's a little girl." It took us 3 days to come up with the name. What are you going to name it? We don't have a
Kylie.
clue. And finally, I just said something simple like Amy, and that's how we ended up with their name.
Nice.
Amy's a great person. I went to school with her, so
That's Dr. Amy now.
Excuse me, Dr. Amy.
Well, Matt, congratulations, and I'll tell you again, I guess, next time I talk to you, and good luck. And just had mine third, and you'll have a little fun.
Matt, don't name them everything. Don't put all them names on that baby. I'm telling you. My initials is WENB. So just take it for somebody that had to wear all their uncles' names, and don't put all them names on that baby.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate the advice, and y'all have a good weekend.
And you better get you some sleep, because next week you ain't going to get none.
You ain't gonna get
Oh,
none.
Matt, one final thing. You know now that you'll have to pay for the wedding.
Yeah, we can worry about that in about 20, 30 years.
All right, Matt, have a good one, brother.
Yep, y'all have a good night.
All right, Matt Chapman and Danny Eckernight. Cherry Falls 38-0. JP, we got anybody online? Not right now. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have another caller and talk more to our announcers about the games tonight. We'll have our top 10 organized, schedules for next week, and more coming up next on KTCBroadcasting.com.
If you're ready to make the great escape, do it with the #1 brand on the water. Yamaha Wave Runners are the most premium personal watercraft on the market, with industry-first features and exciting new products like the all-new 2021 VX Series with audio packages, the must-anticipated Superjet, and the new race-ready GP Series. This is Wave Runner country. See one today at Full Throttle Power Sports, located at 100 Indian Walk off I-85 in Laurel.
Pat's Drive-In in Cherryville has the best food around. Hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and that mouth-watering double cheeseburger. Club sandwiches, BLTs, hot wings, and man, is their onion rings the best. How about their world-famous Lotta Burger, Poor Boys, Lotta Barbecue, and don't forget that mouth-watering hamburger steak plate. Stop in at Pat's Drive-In, open 11 a.m. till 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. Call for takeout orders at 704-435-8833. Pat's Drive-In, located at 604 West Church Street in Cherryville. Tell Malcolm, Tim, and Danny sent you there.
Celebrating lives and healing grieving hearts. That's the theme of the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Falston, and the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home on Dixie Street in Cherryville. Their staff is committed to providing your family with the highest quality care and service in your time of need. For more information, visit the websites at StameyTysingerFuneralHome.com and StameyCherryvilleFuneralHome.com, both giving you the gift of comfort for you and your family.
Buying a home is a big investment. Why not let our family help yours? Vicky Sperling Realty is family owned and operated. We have proudly served the Cherryville community and surrounding areas for over 20 years. Maintaining a small town atmosphere and ensuring customer satisfaction is at the heart of our business. We will work hard to help you and your family find the perfect place to call home. Come see us at 211 East Main Street in downtown Cherryville.
At United Bank, banking means more than financial solutions. It means rallying around the causes that matter to their employees, customers, and neighbors. Over the years, United Bank has grown in size, but their community focus has not changed. By giving back to our local communities and funding business development, we help fuel economic growth. United Bank, Member FDIC. For an Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something that they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, your Allstate agent can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And you're in good hands. Contact Cherryville Allstate agent John Brown today for a free quote. Call 704-435-1920. Yes, septic tank problems just stink. Not only are the odors embarrassing, but ignoring the problem can ruin your yard and your plumbing. With over 40 years of experience, Dennis Willis Septic Tank Service in Cherryville knows how important it is for your home or business to have a septic tank service that responds quickly and effectively, preventing further damage and future repairs. Just call Dennis Willis Septic Tank Service, 704-435-2326, 704-435-2326, or visit the website at DennisWillisSeptic.com. Quality living starts at Carolina Care Retirement Cottages in Cherryville. Experience a gracious retirement with a wide range of social activities to truly make your life golden. From birthday and anniversary socials to Bible studies to matinee movies and more. Check out the beautiful clubhouse, great for all kinds of special events. It could be yours to enjoy. Carolina Care Retirement Cottages on Lee Chalet Lane at Carolina Care Center, Highway 274 north of Cherryville. Call 704-435-7900 or visit sandstonehealth.com.
Hi, this is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Cherryville. I'd like to share with you my favorite passage of Scripture in God's Word. Philippians 4, verse 8 tells us this, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all that you have learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you." This is Vince Hefner, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Cherryville, reminding you God loves you.
And we're back on the Witherspoon. No, that's the pregame. What is the postgame called? The Full Throttle Power Sports postgame show. Sorry, it's been a long day for me. So I know the guys. They'll eventually turn themselves on, and we have Jeff Miller on the line. If y'all want to go ahead and talk to him.
We hear you, JP.
Yeah, I know you hear me. You don't care what I have to say, but
no,
I mean,
listen to you. You do a good job. Jeff Miller on the phone. What's up,
yes.
Jeffrey?
Is he there?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, Jeff.
All smiles, are you not, Jeff?
What was that you just said?
You all smiles tonight, are you not?
Yep. It was a great win for Forest U tonight against arch rival Ashbrook, 24-21, and I'm just going to tell you, Ashbrook brought it tonight. I mean, it was a few simple mistakes that basically separated them from victory tonight. A few drop passes, and then early in the game, Ashbrook took advantage of a Forest U fumble after a big hit. I mean, that Ashbrook player laid the wood on Forest U's running back. He fumbled the ball, and Ashbrook took it in for a touchdown to go up to 7-0. And then Ashbrook did a long touchdown pass to number 1, but in a procedure penalty called it back, so it ended up being just 7-0. Then Forest U woke up, and Christian Holland would get Forest U on the board early with a 3-yard touchdown run, and then Forest U went up toward the end of the second quarter with a gimmicky play, an 8-yard touchdown pass to linebacker fullback Dresden Dunlap, and that'd be the score at halftime. And then after stopping Ashbrook on their first 2 drives, Forest U extended their lead to 21-7, but saying in my highlight reel, this game is far from over, and, Ashbrook proved me right on that with Camelo Best, 60-yard touchdown reception, from their quarterback. I think Leslie is his last name. I looked at Max Preps. His number was not listed on Max Preps, but, he's a great quarterback. And then Forest U, extended their lead with a field goal, and it went doink on the bottom, but then it went over. So the 47-yard field goal counted, and then Ashbrook, Carmelo Bess again scored on a 2-yard touchdown run to make it 24-21, and they stopped Force U deep in Ashbrook territory and then took over, and on fourth down, Force U was able to stop Ashbrook, and you could feel the wind being sucked out of Ashbrook Stadium after that. I mean, really felt bad for the coaches and the players because, they played hard. I mean, they battled hard, but Force U played a great game as well. It was 2 evenly matched teams, and kind of hate that somebody had to lose that game.
Well, the Crest folks said Ashbrook gave a pretty good run last week. That they said they pretty much ran the same play over and over, a few different varieties. Did they open up a little bit this week, or they just pound Forest View like they tried to Crest last week?
Well, they actually opened it up some. I mean, Ashbrook did a lot of passing plays. They did a lot of deep passing plays, and I saw some drop passes too. And I'm like, one of those passes would have been for a touchdown because he had the Force U DB beat. And, of course, Ashbrook also threw 2 interceptions in the game as well. So the 2 turnovers for Ashbrook hurt them as the game went on. But they almost pulled it off. It was almost a glorious homecoming for Ashbrook, but it was Force U that wins their 3rd straight, and Ashbrook loses their 4th straight. But let me warn you, if Ashbrook wins 3 of the games that they're supposed to win going forward, they got North Gaston coming up. They got a date with Stuart Kramer. Then they end the season with Hunter Huss. I'm just going to warn you, I don't think you want to play Ashbrook in the playoffs if they make it.
So you're saying they're the most dangerous 1-4 team around?
I would bet on it. I would wager some of my paycheck on that.
All right, Jeff. Well, what are you looking for? What are you looking at next week as far as where you're going to go?
Well, I know Force U's, they play host to Kings Mountain, and I'd like to see how that Stuart Kramer Hunter Huss game turns out. I'm sort of those are 2 teams I haven't covered yet, and it'd be nice if Force U can catch Kings Mountain sleeping, but I don't think they will. I think Kings Mountain will be laser focused on Force U and not overlook them for South Point. But that's a game I plan on going in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you still got South Point as the best team in Gaston County? A couple weeks ago,
I still feel like South Point's the best team in Gaston County, but I know they're going to have their hands full when they travel to Kings Mountain. That's going to be what everybody in the South likes to call a slobber knocker.
Well, Jeff, good luck next week. Give us a call next week. Tell us all about it. Congratulations. Start a bonfire tonight. Have a good time. Congratulations to the Jaguars.
I want to ask you, do Coach Abrams still coach for Forest View? Roger Abrams.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay, I hope he's listening. He used to be my supervisor, and I always try to follow Forest View because of him, because I know he's the defensive coordinator or the defensive back coach one. So, if you're listening, Coach, I hope great job.
Yep, they're doing a great job this year. With this young Jaguars team, got a long ways to go, but they're getting better, I think.
All right, Jeff, thanks for giving us a call, and you have a good weekend, brother.
Hey, you do the same. Y'all take care.
Thank you. Jeff Miller, CarolinaVarsity.com. Forest View Patty always gives us a call about the Gaston County game of the Gaston County game of the week. And this week he went to Forest View, his alma mater, with a 24-21 victory over the Ashbrook Green Wave. All right, we got a bunch of final scores I want to go through and then talk some top 10. Last person we've yet to talk to is Rob Roop. Rob, if you're out there listening to us, go ahead and give us a call, Bubba. We'll talk about those Crest Chargers And then, but right now, I want to go through some of these scores, and we'll pull up some highlights. I tell you what, Dennis, if you'll start reading scores, I'll get some of the highlights ready for us to roll through here in just a few moments.
We'll do that. Let's start off with the East Gaston Warriors and the Cherryville Ironmen. It was East Gaston 38, Cherryville 0. Bessemer City Yellow Jackets 60, Highland Tech Rams 14. It was the Crest Chargers tonight 54, the Kramer Storm 28. It was the Chase Trojans over the East Rutherford Cavaliers tonight 55-9. In a close one tonight, the Lincolnton Wolves 22, Newton Conover 21. That went somewhere.
Oh, you were looking at the big screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. It was the Maiden Blue Devils tonight, 27-17 over the West Lincoln Rebels. It was the Bandy's Trojans 35, the East Burke Cavaliers 14. It was South Point Red Raiders 35, Hunter Huss Huskies 7, Kings Mountain Mountaineers 56, the North Gaston Wildcats 0. Forest View Jaguars, as you heard Jeff talking about, won tonight 24-21 over the Ashbrook Green Wave. It was the Shelby Golden Lions, Steve, won tonight 55-6 over the Thomas Jefferson Griffons. It was Hendersonville Bearcats 32 and the Polk County Wolverines 21. The Brevard Blue Devils 44, the RS Central Hilltoppers 6. It was the Bunker Hill Bears 52, West Caldwell Warriors 6. Will?
It was the Community School of Davidson 56, Mountain Island Charger was 6. It was Carver 14 in the close one over Bishop McGinnis 14-12. Pine Lake Prep 48, Winston-Salem Prep 6.
That was the last score we got. That's not a final.
That's the last score we have. It's not a final. Drone 57, Avery County 7. The last score we have in the West Charlotte game is West Charlotte 7. West Mac was 0. St. Stephen's 21, North Iredale 7. North Lincoln falls to Hickory 29-22. It was West Iredale over Fred T. Ford 26-8. East Lincoln 28, Statesville 7. Mitchell 49, Owen 26. East Siri 63, North Siri 24. Wilkes Central 50, Siri Central 34, and it was Forbush over Wilkes Central, West Wilkes, West Wilkes 21-20, and East Wilkes over Elton 63-21. A lot of close games, and few that finished up. The Forest View game finished up within the score. The Lincoln game finished up within the score. Forbush, West Central finished up within the score. So a lot of close games tonight.
And a few blowouts.
A lot of blowouts, too.
Like the Kings Mountain game. Right now, you got to give your hats off to Kings Mountain. They are the best team in Cleveland County right now. Kings Mountain, I just want to say one thing, guys. Y'all realize the quarterback from Kings Mountain, he actually played in Shelby.
Yeah.
But, sometimes.
ML.
Yeah, right. Sometimes the change of vineyard will help you because he probably still been at Shelby, probably was backing up Dalen. So now, he transfers. I was mad at first, but then he transferred to Kings Mountain, and he's starting over there and doing a great job. So,
all right, guys, we got Robbie Roop on the phone. Just about 3 or 4 minutes to get with him. Hey, Rob.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hey, Robbie, tell me about those Chargers tonight.
It's just one of those nights you just kind of got up by 2 scores and never really had to look back. I mean, it was, just a night you go about your business, 54-28 victory. And, again, Natavius Husky just getting the job done on the ground with his feet. Another great night for him. But I think one thing Chris has got to be really excited about, Aiden Carson, the sophomore running back for Crest, rushed for nearly 200 yards tonight. So Crest is getting that kind of ground game with what they're doing to the air right now. This offense looks really, really good.
Listen, Green had a big night, and also he had the punt return that he let roll. He picked up the punt return. Well, how long was that? How long was that run? Like 60, 70 yards?
Yeah, it's about a 70-yard punt return. That's 2 weeks in a row. Had one against Ashbrook 2 weeks ago, and then the night had that one against Kramer. So, anytime the ball gets in Davari Green's hands, you got something exciting can happen. I tell you what, a shout-out to Dede Pettis for the Chargers. Really never left the field. He finally had to come out with cramps one time. Was playing left tackle for Crest on the offensive line, playing defensive end on the defensive side of the thing. And I think there was 3 straight plays where he had 2 sacks, I think it was, and a tackle for a loss off a handoff. That young man's getting the job done as well. And Crest now with Deshaun Coy, who has really emerged. Crest now has one defensive end that stands 6'3", 240, and Dede Pettis. Deshaun Coy, 6'3", about 220 at the other defensive end. Crest is really excited about what they're able to do right now with those 2 guys defensively.
Well, Robbie, that's what I wanted to ask you about. We've heard about the offense and Green catching passes and Husky throwing passes, and now they've shored it up with a good running game. What about the defensive side? You were just referring to the 2 ends. What about the backfield? We seem to be giving up more points than we would like compared to other schools.
Well, yeah, once again, Dennis, you're looking at that secondary. You're starting 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores in the secondary, and then Desmond Porter, who again had another great game, another sophomore on the defense side of the game. You talk about the youth of this Crest team. I was looking at some of the numbers. Underclassmen offensively, 9 of their top 10 yardage guys are underclassmen, and then 8 of their top 10 tacklers on the defensive side of the ball are underclassmen. So, again, when me and Brent talked tonight in the pregame, you're kind of having to grow into these roles. You're 5 games in now. You're starting to see guys understand their position, what they need to do. But you're going to need more time in the weight room, get a little bit stronger. Kramer was able to take advantage of some little inside handoffs and got some good yardage there as well. So, yeah, definitely some things to do. But, you can see the potential's there. You just got to make sure guys are in the right place. And again, I think it was just a good night overall for the Chargers.
Well, Robbie, I guess I was alluding to the fact that we are very young at certain key positions, but the future of Crest looks very bright. I know that I had a good talk with a friend this week, and he was telling me about the middle school team and some of the players on that middle school team that could potentially be playing on the varsity as freshmen and sophomores. And so it looks like we are going to have a continued stream of good players that we're picking up here. So the future of Crest football, while this year I would call almost a transition year, but it looks like we're very solid with the guys that have a little experience there and a lot of the young guys who are getting experience there for the future.
Yeah, exactly right. This year, kids trying to grow into this system. Coach Sosby's offensive system. Of course, Coach Quinn Easton's and what he's wanting to do on the defensive side of the ball. So you've got new coaches there, new coordinators, and you want to do some different things. So kids are having to learn it. You're going through some growing pains, but I think if you talk to most Crest fans at this point in the year, you've only got 1 loss. I think you feel pretty good about where you're at. The guys, the monsters next week, and because right now, Kings Mountain is the head of the pack. We all know that. I think they're the best team in the Big South Conference right now. So that makes this game next Friday night between Crest and South Point a monster. The winner of that game is going to be in a lot better position than what that third place team's going to be come playoff time.
Well, Robbie, you were broadcasting earlier of the game, but we were talking, I think it was on the Red Zone, in regard to the one team. Let's say it's Kings Mountain for hypothetical reasons. And let's say the 2 team is South Point. We'll just give them that. And let's say the 3rd team is Crest. Who do you want to see coming to your place? None of those teams, quite frankly. And, who do you go see? Do you go see an East Lincoln? Where do you go in that situation? We've got some very strong teams in that particular conference that a lot of teams are not going to be able with their top 1 or 2 teams to stack up against.
Well, here's the crazy thing, guys. Going into this game, I was looking at the RPI that, of course, the state uses for seeding the playoffs, and looking at the RPI West, Stuart Kramer was ranked 11th going into tonight's game in the RPI in the West. Crest was ranked 8th. So to me, that just speaks to the conference because it goes by, of course, who you play, who they play, and who they play. Yeah. And so that speaks a lot to the competition. And tonight's game with that number RPI Kramer has is going to benefit Crest. And again, I think whoever that third place team is gets a home game, maybe the first round of the playoffs. But I'm like you, Dennis. If whoever that third place team is, probably on the road in the second round against a higher seed team. And I'm not sure which you want to see any of those teams coming to your place in the second round.
No. if you're one of those, teams from a conference that doesn't have quite the competition level that you guys have been through in your league, and you see a Crest or a Kramer or a South Point or somebody like that rolling in your second round, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly right. I think about last year when we were talking about teams like Oak Grove, Ledford, teams like that had really good RPIs and had some great seeding. But once they got into the playoffs, just the lack of competition come back and bit them in the behind come playoff time.
Well, the same thing could be said of the 2A group with Burns and Shelby and some of those teams and Chase and the others. It's just going to be a very competitive postseason. I got one more question for you, Robbie. I'd heard that we had a player or two possibly that came in and was added to the lineup later from maybe Gaffney or somewhere. Could you fill me in a little bit on some of those players? I heard one went back to Gaffney. One was a very good player that may be playing. What's the truth? What's going on there?
Yeah, they do. Crest does have a guy on the roster. The family moved into Bowling Springs. What I understand, he did play at Gaffney. That's the one I was talking about, Deshaun Corey, that's been playing defensive end.
Yeah.
His first time ever playing defensive side of the ball was actually last week against Ashbrook. So they were very excited what he was able to do. Tried to get him involved a little bit tonight offensively. What he brings to the table offensively, the Crest doesn't have. He stands about 6'3", 6'4", and you look at those other Crest receivers. I think Rory Green maybe tops out at 6 foot, and then you're talking about 5'9", 5'10". He gives you that one taller guy that maybe you can go into the end zone and tell him to go get it. So he brings a little different complexion to the passing game when they use him as well.
Well, I'd heard he was a very good offensive player, but I also heard he was the kind of kid that said to the coach, just use me wherever you need me.
Yeah, he has. He's come in and it's fit in really well with the team and has done everything the coach has asked him to do. And understand from folks on he's a pretty good basketball player too. So Coach Levine is going to be excited about having him on the basketball court too.
There you go, Robbie. A twofer.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
I got to run you off. It's time to go.
Hey, Robbie, where do Crest and South Point play at?
That game's in Belmont, guys.
Uh-oh.
Yep. That's it. All right, see you now.
You already down 7-0, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Robbie Root there with the Crest Chargers broadcast. Couple of things you guys we've been listening or watching online. I've been showing some of the highlights here at Shelby. This is your Shelby band here at the end of the game. Playing it off. Now, I do want to go ahead and wheel and say I do believe Bridges. Do y'all have any other nominees for play of the week, or is this it?
I think we have to go back to this play right here.
So, for the folks online, can see I'm moving the stuff right now. I'm being lazy about this, but here we go. Let's go back to the start here.
Watch this ball bounce, okay?
It bounces away.
Right. So for the folks on the radio, you aren't going to be able to tell, but Shelby throws, and Steve's sitting here, a little pass here. Was that a receiver? Was this a receiver pass? Was this a double pass?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because the reason I'm asking,
it looks that
if
way.
you watch the other receiver, he ran a little out route.
Screen.
Where was the screen supposed to go?
Not
that way.
Actually, the receiver was supposed to block that corner. The receiver was supposed to see he ran right by him.
Right. Okay. So a lot of action in this play. So Dalen throws the ball from the 32-ish, and it lands about the 31, and Isaiah knocks it backwards 5 yards. Then the defender chases him back there. So Isaiah picks the ball up at the 24.
Matador defense.
The ball was snapped at the 36. And the defender, poor kid. I'm gonna go ahead. I want to say this to all the DBs out there. There's a good chance you might get shook in the open field. Take the angle you want and go for it.
Yeah.
You might miss by a mile and a half, or you're gonna blow it up. But you better take that angle and go, because the second you chop your feet, Will, bye.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
No,
I don't know how many times I've chopped my feet and got embarrassed out there, but if you just go, take your angle, and I will say this, take the outside angle. Try to take his outside foot. More chances than not, they're going to try to go outside. So
notice my offensive lineman, they're really in the hill range.
They got their arms up.
Look at my offensive. Let's look at my offensive lineman.
They knew. They already knew. When he got past there.
4 standing still, Steve.
Was an offensive lineman downfield there still?
It was.
And then you had wait a minute, 65 is 11 yards downfield.
Yeah. It was a screen. That's why. And if you catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage, it's not illegal man downfield.
It's basically like
but you have to catch it first.
Got to catch it first.
Well, he threw it backwards, so it was a lateral, so he could be as far down the field as he wanted to right there.
He was doing his part. Bill, what's the Patriots? Bill Belichick say, "Do your job." Didn't he? He was doing his job. He left when he's supposed to left. He was doing his job.
I don't believe Coach screwed it up exactly.
Hey, it's not his fault they threw the ball behind the receiver. He was going to find the linebacker.
Notice he could have caught the ball. He just he took his off for it, but it ended up being. So I'm anxious to see how they're going to count this.
It's going to be a rush.
It's got to be a rush.
It's going to be a fumble recovery.
You talking about a slick play? Notice how he caught the ball and then threw it down so he could go pick it up and run with it.
It's a 56-yard run for Isaiah Bridges. Probably be outscored, but it's still got to be. Even if it's a fumble recovery, Steve, that's still a
run.
It's still a run because it's basically like running the option is what that was. All right, let's go through the other highlights before we get out of here. Here's Tanner set up at Chase. Chase always has a beautiful little field there and set up. Grass always looks great up there. Yellow Jackets starting off. Holmes tonight tied the school record with 5 touchdown passes tonight. We'll see all of those here in just a short bit. They started off with a opening kickoff, run over the kicker, get out of my way. 75 yards later, Yellow Jackets up 6-0. Here is, I didn't mean to go full screen there. The Rebels and the Blue Devils entering the field here up at Maiden. Jameer Holmes, 27 yards to, this is Terrence Smith out of the backfield. He's out at wide receiver. That made it 12-0. Over at Crest, it's 8-0 on the run up the middle. Lyman lost his helmet on that blocking. Must have blocked real hard. This is Maiden. Nice little bubble screen cover, and he hits the blue. And he is
gas.
Sign E for you folks wondering at home. First pass from Chase. We talked about this earlier. This made it 6-0 to Derisma.
That could be. I mean, that's a candidate as well.
He had a nice little shake and bake.
He had a little shake and bake right there.
Derisma and you get and Steve, you know he's one of the fastest people around here that kick and fly. This made it 13-0. Remember, McCombs got hurt, and the backup comes in and does a good job.
Throws the deuces up at the 15.
About like 15.
If you got Lyman doing his job, man, we could get some yards. I don't know how much.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, boys, I didn't get the number on this, but Will, here's my second nomination. Second nomination for play of the night. You ready for this? This is a blocked punt, and the biggest, roundest kid on the field picks it up, and he has a chance to score. Here's the snap. Here's the blocked punt. And here he goes, big man. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. Rumbling, stumbling on, and he gets tackled down at the 12.
What game was that?
Vesper City Highland Tech. I'm going to try to get this number. There's a 7 on there somewhere. It's either 77 or 67. Get off me! That's a big human being.
That's a lot of youngins.
Oh, my gosh. I wish he could have scored right here.
Big man ball.
Big man ball.
Big man ball.
The punter got stiff arm. but he held on long enough to dive at his feet and tackle him, and he held on to the ball. Andre will tell you, he's lucky he held on to the ball. Big men like to fumble when they get the ball. He said he got one carry.
How would Andre know
He
that?
said he got touched the ball one time, and a dude hit him in the legs, and the ball just flew out. He said, I don't even know how the ball came out of my hands. He hit me in the leg. Let's see, another pass by Holmes. This made it 20-0 out in the corner. Good little pass there. How about Chargers? Here's Rockamore over the middle, finds the open receiver. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Safety come right up on it, and the quarterback threw it right over the top of him.
Now, why is this defensive back way over
Why
here?
over
He had another receiver.
He was guarding the receiver down
The
the
receiver on the
side.
sideline.
Yeah, they were in the zone.
Well,
They
he
in
ain't
the
covering
zone.
that guy,
They got mixed
and
up
he
in
isn't
their
covering
zone.
this guy. Who's he covering?
The 5-yard line, did
The 5-yard line, pretty much.
And to think I used to coach defensive back.
But they do have that the kid that Brandon, what's his name? Number 4 for Chris?
McCall?
Brandon McCall.
Yeah.
This thing.
Taylor Williams made it 7-7. We got to go sports. Here's a field goal by East Weatherford. Made it 13-3. Another Crest score. Here's is this Green on this one?
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's Addison.
That's
Green
Addison.
score tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw
That big tackle pull. I like that. That big man pull. see that big. Look at it.
74.
Look
This
at
way.
it. Look at it. Ain't block nobody.
And that corner didn't want none. No, but
He
look,
ran.
if
He ran
you
from it.
look,
He ran.
if you look at that corner didn't want none of that.
He
That
want
corner
none of that.
cleared out. He said, "Oh no, y'all can't pay me for this one."
Coach don't run that play no more.
That was not like me. Here's another 5-yard pass from Holmes. Over that Lincoln game, this is the Lincoln New Conner game. We got 4 scores, all of them inside the 5-yard line, guys. The 5 or 6. Every score was a short score in that game. Here's a Crest. I think it looks like is that Addison? It's number 6.
That's no. What's that number 6?
No,
Green.
That's Green.
Oh, that's Javarius?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Green number 6.
Was that a reverse they ran to him then? That's definitely not a pass. And then here's Kramer scoring. And then another. This is Newton Conover taking the 15-8 lead. This is from 7 yards out. So this might have been the longest touchdown of the night. Shook one guy. And somebody's mama just yelling. Touchdown here by Crest. That was Natavius. What's his last name? Husky. I want to call him Harkey for some. Why don't I want to call him
Tater.
Rebels. Field goal, 13-10. They got stopped after turning the ball over. The Newton Conover scores from the 2 there. Holmes with his this is the 4th touchdown pass tonight. Another little. They got 2 of these screen passes, and Smith is gone when he gets that. Rebels. Mason Avery coming into the house, right side, off the tackle.
It's the football.
Out.
I've seen that before.
Here's Jameer Holmes.
Look like you see that every week.
6. Option off of the running back space. And there goes the Rams. They got 6 off of us. We pitched it off our face with a fumble. Maiden. Look at the end zone. What's this replay? Oh, where'd it go? On radio, the goalpost got in the way of our foot.
Just because the goalpost was there, we didn't have to say that young man got mossed.
I know he did. Probably did. Here's another little bubble screen. Vesper just killing Highland Tech with that. Whoever watches that video is going to run that against Highland Tech next week. They scored on 3 of those. 44-6, 52-6. Vesper gets a couple of pick sixes right here. Back-to-backs. Rockamore looking for the end zone. Finds a man. He rolls right, Steve, and throws it to the left corner of the end zone. You don't see that much, do you? And then Husky rolls to his left and finds the wide receiver there, number 15. Another pick 6. This time Pettis, 80-yard touchdown return for Bessemer City on this pick 6. This one was thrown up in the air. It got airmailed, but Pettis did run over 2 people here. Get off me.
You know, we're nominating. This could be another one because he hit like 3 people in that pile, and then he made 2 of them tackle each other.
And then he stiff-armed this
That's
kid.
the same kid that played basketball?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Pettis, you remember hearing that name?
Rondo Pettis.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the playback.
Yep. Interception for the Red Devils. And this is Maiden making it 27-17.
Oh, man, how do you look at that? You seen the ball in the air and you watch that play.
We'll talk about that
That
safety
looked like
right
a Carolina touchdown right there.
15.
Where you going?
Go to the ball.
That's. I think a lot of DBs get caught watching the wide receivers. All right, we got to go. JP, play us away. Final scores across the board. I got to get down home. Fast game, go. I'm going to read these fast. 38-0 East Gaston over Cherryville. Best City 60-14 over Highland Tech. Chris 54-28 over Kramer. Chase 55-9 over East Rutherford. Lincoln 22-21 over Newton Conover. Maiden 27-20 over West Lincoln. Bandy's 35-14 over East Burke. South Point 35-7 over Hunter Huss. Kings Mountain 56-0 over North Gaston. Varsity 24-21 over Ashbrook. Shelby 55-6 over Jefferson. Hendersonville 32-21 over Polk County. Brevard 40-46 over R Central. Bunker Hill 52-6 over West Caldwell. East Lincoln 28-7 over Statesville. North Lincoln Falls 29-22 to Hickory, and West Iredell 26-8 over Ford. We'll see you guys next week on KDCBroadcasting.com.
See you next week.
Man, I only do things incredible can, 'cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see